Assalamu alaikum, my dear kids. Hope you're all very fine and taking good care of yourselves and paying due attention towards your studies. Dear kids, this is your English teacher and welcome back to our English class. As you all know, that before few days we have started this 11th lesson of your English textbook, The Treasure Hunt, and we have learned that it's a story about Jim Hawkins, Captain Long John Silver, and his crew, who were on a mission of finding the buried treasure that was gold. So all of them have set on the skeleton island and have started their journey or started their mission of finding the treasure. Dear kids, let's see whether they succeed in their mission or not. In the previous class, we learned that Captain Silver, he was following this map and he was very confident that he would soon find the buried treasure. Now, dear kids, let's see what happens. Look, said Silver, the bones point towards that part of Skeleton Island. So, Captain Silver, he was telling everybody that this skeleton, a sailor's skeleton that they found while on their way towards this treasure, they found a sailor's skeleton, and these bones, these arms, they were pointing towards a specific direction. They quickly climbed up towards the pine trees. Soon they reached the top. As soon as they reached the high ground, Silver and his man sat down to rest. As he sat, Silver looked at his compass and said, "There are three tall trees in a straight line from Skeleton Island. It will be easy to find the treasure now." So, when they saw that this skeleton it was pointing towards a specific direction, they all moved quickly up towards the pine trees. So they reached the top. They were climbing up and up, so they reached the top. And when they reached the high ground, Silver and his men they sat down to take some rest. But when Silver sat, he looked at his compass. Compass, you know, it is a sort of instrument that is used for finding directions: east, west, north, south, northeast, northwest, so different directions. So he looked at his compass and he said that there are three tall trees in a straight line from Skeleton Island. So he said that as per this map, there are three tall trees. You see the picture? There are three tall trees in a straight line from the Skeleton Island. And now Silver was sure that they it would be easier for them to find the treasure. Our way lay downhill. We could see the pines ahead of us. The first two tall trees were the wrong ones according to Silver's compass, but the third rose nearly 200 feet into the sky. The men knew that the gold lay buried under its shadow. Almost instantly, they started moving faster. So, here, Jim Hawkins is saying that their way lay downhill. They have to go downwards the hill. But when they were moving, they could see the pine trees. These pine trees, they were ahead of them, in front of them. So the first two trees, as per Silver's compass, they were wrong ones. They were not the ones under whose shadow the treasure was supposed to be buried. It was the third pine tree that was rising around 200 feet into the sky. That was very tall, and under its shadow, as per this map, under the shadow of this third pine tree, the gold was supposed to be buried. Okay, so almost instantly they started moving faster. When they thought that now they were closer to the treasure, they were about to find the treasure, they started moving faster. Silver hobbled up, his hands shaking. He hoped to dig up the treasure, find the Hispaniola, kill his crew, and sail away with the rich. Afraid of this, I could hardly keep up with the treasure hunters. Now Jim is saying that Captain Silver was walking very slowly, even with a limp, and it may be due to tiredness or due to some pain, and his hands were shaking. But he was hopeful that they would dig up the treasure And he had the secret plan of finding the ship named Hispaniola and kill his crew, all the men who had assisted him in finding the treasure. His plan was to kill them all and sail away with all the rich hair, means all the gold or all the treasure. Afraid of this, I could hardly keep up with the treasure hunters. So here Jim Hawkins is saying that I was knowing this Captain Silver's plan. I was well aware of Captain Silver's plan. So due to this fear that if he finds the treasure, he would kill his crew and he would sail away alone with all the rich. I could not keep up, means I could not move with the same speed like others were moving. Others here were the treasure hunters. Soon those in front started running. Suddenly they stopped. A low cry arose. Silver and I rushed forward. Before us was a very large pit. Someone had dug it up a long time ago. The sides had fallen in and grass covered the bottom. The hidden treasure had been removed. All 700,000 pounds of gold were gone. So, when they were about to reach the place where the treasure was buried, the men who were at front, they started running, but suddenly they stopped and there was a low cry. When they were crying with surprise or with disappointment, Silver and Jim Hawkins, here I stands for Jim Hawkins, they rushed forward, and what they saw, that before them there was a large pit. You see this big hole, this pit. So someone had dug it up a long time ago. So it had been dug up by somebody else a long time ago, because you see here grass had grown, the walls had broken, inside there also the grass has grown. It means that long time back somebody else had dug up the pit and taken the treasure. The hidden treasure had been removed. So the treasure was gone. All the 700,000 pounds of gold were gone. So ultimately, at the end, all of them could not get the treasure because it had already been stolen by somebody else. Okay? Now there is a question for you. Do the pirates ever find the treasure? Does Jim get his share of gold? Read Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson to find out. Decades, this is a suggestion for you. If you want to know the complete story, what happens next after this scene, you should. It is recommended for you to read the book Treasure Island, whose author is Robert Louis Stevenson. Okay, decades. Hope you would revise this lesson and now you will start preparing well for the upcoming tests. Okay, take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.